Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Good morning and Assalamu alaikum. Okay, I hope everyone is fine and safe. Let's start our lecture. Let me share my screen with you. Today we are going to cover the basics of inventory management. And in the first lecture, just a minute. Oops. Something went wrong. Where is my stuff? I hope everyone can see the screen.
No, sir, it's not visible.
Not visible. अब स्क्रीन नजर आ रही है आप लोगों को कि नहीं?
नो सर, स्क्रीन तो
Yes,
नजर
sir,
आ
आ
रही है,
रही है।
लेकिन वो
नहीं।
जो आप लेक्चर
जो लेक्चर है मतलब वो आपको नजर नहीं आ रहा है यहाँ पे?
यस सर।
अच्छा, अब ठीक है कि नहीं? अब भी नहीं?
यस सर, इट्स नाउ विजिबल।
It's visible. Okay, thank you. Okay, so it is on the inventory management. You know that a manager in any organization, he is dealing. He usually deals with the of
Perks of taking online classes.
I'm extremely sorry. I think there's a very weak signal in my office, and actually the line dropped. But let me try again. Let me share the screen again. I hope you can see it.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, thank you. So, as I said, inventory is the lifeblood of any organization because 30 to 40% of the money that is tied up in the inventory. So that's why controlling of the inventory is very important. Uh, what is inventory? I mean, the basic thing. Everything which we see, I mean, physically, like, for example, computer is an inventory, nuts, bolts, etc. These tissue papers, tires, anything which is, which you can see within the organization, basically that is inventory. So stock of materials stored, and then it depends on your, capacity, that how much you can store. That's why, I mean, usually the warehouses and the stores are properly designed in order to accommodate the required inventory, which is, I mean, sufficient to run for a period of time, and so that the organization does not, I mean, face any stock out of the inventory. I mean, they don't need to stock too much of the inventory, because if too much of the inventory is stored within the warehouses or within the system, then it means that the inventory might not be required, and you have purchased it and you have tied up your inventory in the store, or within the system. So that's why a proper a required quantity of inventory, I mean, should be calculated, and that should be maintained within the warehouses or within the system. When we say within the system, it means the inventory is issued from the warehouse and it is in the process somewhere till its completion as a product. So that's the inventory. Inventory is usually in four forms. It could be the raw material. So the raw material is purchased from the supplier. A number of suppliers are there. So raw material is an inventory. Work in progress or work in process, same thing. That is inventory. What is work in process or work in progress? Something which is being operated on. So that is again inventory. And then we keep inventory as the spare parts, for example, for maintenance, repairs, etc. So spares are also inventory. Finished goods means the products which are finally produced. That is inventory. So these are the four major forms of the inventory: raw material, work in process, spares, and finished goods. The functions of inventory include to decouple or separate various parts of the production process. For example, there is a demand from the customers and something has gone wrong, right, on the production line. Say there is under maintenance. If you have sufficient inventory, so that you can meet the demand of the customers. So it's basically separating the production process from the demand of the customers, like, and you can fulfill that. Then to provide a stock of goods that will provide a selection for customers. If you have variety of products, then the customers can select that. But when we have variety of products, it means we have already produced them, or the organization is producing variety of products and the customers can choose. So that is another function of the inventory, that it provides variety to the customers. Then take advantage of quantity discounts. Usually the high inventory is sometimes the result of the quantity discounts. Like if you are, I mean, buying, for example, or purchasing one item, then obviously there is a price for that item. But if that item is, I mean, purchased in a large number, in large quantities, then usually certain discounts are given. So usually the organizations, they take the advantage of the quantity discounts by purchasing more, higher quantities. So the unit price then drops down. So when you purchase large number of items, uh, then obviously the inventory increases, but the price per unit that drops. So, I mean, it happens sometimes that quantity and the advantage of quantity discounts is usually, I mean, taken. Then to hedge against inflation and upward prices changes. If you feel, if the organization, I mean, they think that in the coming times, the prices of the raw materials will be higher. So, in anticipation, they can purchase some of the items thinking that the prices will go high, and thus it results in the inventory, high inventory. But that is also a function of the inventory. There sometimes when we feel that the prices are going high, our discounts are there, so we purchase. This is the material flow cycle. It's about cutting these logs into certain pieces. So if you look at it, the input is obviously these logs. So that is input which comes from the forest or from the supplier. You can say if the organization is, producing something made of wood, then input is obviously wood, and that is in the form of logs. And so wait for inspection. These logs are inspected, and those who which qualify the inspection, they are accepted for further processing. So input, then wait for inspection, then wait to be moved. After inspection, obviously they are going to be moved. Once they are moved, then wait in queue for operator, because you have certain facility which is basically the saw to cut, for example, these logs into pieces. When there are large number of logs, obviously some of the logs will wait. So they wait in queue for operator, then set up time, they set the saw to cut these logs into pieces, and then obviously the operation. And after the operation, the output, which is in the form of planks, are in the form of pieces. So this is complete cycle, starting from here, from the waiting for inspection till its completion as an output, which is in the form of a part or product, whatever you can call it. So that is the whole cycle. Now, 95% of the whole cycle, 95% of the whole cycle is basically like waiting, moving, then waiting in queue or waiting for inspection, etc., which is non-productive. Only 5% of the whole cycle is productive. And it is equally applicable to any other production system where we have the raw material in the form of input. Then that input or raw material is inspected. After inspection, that is moved to the warehouses. Then when they are required, then they are moved. Then they wait in queue if there are a large number of work parts to be processed on, and then the machines are set up with the right tooling, and then the actual processes, and then output. So that is complete cycle. Now, disadvantages of inventory. The sometimes due to the higher costs, if you purchase the items and you don't process it on the right time, then obviously you are going to bear the cost, right? Bear the higher cost of the inventory. So item cost if purchased, then ordering are a setup cost. These are basically costs of forms, clerks, wages, etc. And then holding costs are carrying cost. Now, obviously, one cannot avoid these things. The item cost is there. You have to pay the unit price, purchase price. Then the ordering cost. So ordering cost is basically the cost when you place an order to the supplier in order to provide you certain material, right? That material could be in the form of it could be in raw form or raw material. It could be uh, I mean a partial assembly. For example, if you are not producing everything, then obviously you are going to purchase the partial assemblies as well, which is produced by someone else. But anyhow, you have to place an order, and when you place an order, it means you have a proper section for that, where you have a number of people, you are going to pay them. And you see, ordering are a setup cost. So when we place an order, when we purchase it from a supplier or from outside, we call it ordering cost. But the same thing is also called setup cost when we are going to set the machine or set up the machine with the proper toolings, jigs and fixtures, for example, then we call that a setup cost. So both the same, ordering cost or setup cost. This is outside when we are placing an order to a supplier, and this is the cost which is incurred while setting up the machine for the production. Similarly, the holding cost. Once we have purchased, for example, the quantity discounts. I mean, if you consider that example or that case, we purchase in larger quantities. So when the material is supplied, you are not utilizing that, or you are not using that on a single day. It might, last for, say, a few months. So when it lasts for a few months, it means you will carry the rest of the material for the other periods. So there is a cost which is known as holding or carrying cost, and that cost includes, if you have, for example, leased a building. So you are going to lease building means like, for example, your warehouse. Sometimes the organizations, when they don't have sufficient space in their own warehouse, so they purchase the space from other people or from other organizations. So you are going to pay even if you have your own building. In that building, there is some lighting. There are people working in that building, and the cost is associated with that. Similarly, insurances, taxes, etc. So these are holding or carrying costs. Difficult to control. Obviously, we need to find out a proper controlling mechanism for it, so that there is a balance between the ordering cost and the holding costs. And it hides the production. Difficult to control, it means inventory. And then hides production problems. When we have too much of inventory, say everywhere, in the warehouses are full. The work in progress inventory is quite high. Even the finished goods, your final storage, where you have placed the finished goods, that is full, and you don't have any problem, because if there is a demand from the customers, you can meet that easily, even without running the organization. But that is not feasible. That is not justified, because the inventory is too much. And when the inventory is too much, it means you have tied up all your money in the inventory, right? So that's the issue. Of too much inventory. So it hides the production problems, but it hides the production problems when the inventory is very high. That's why we go for the optimum quantity of the inventories. That what should be the optimum quantity, so that your holding cost, your ordering costs, these costs are, balanced. So this classification of inventory is the same thing like inventory. So if there is a processing, obviously it is dealing with the inventory. Then we calculate we classify the inventory into these classes like A items, B items, C items. We can count their numbers. It also depends on the demand, that it deals with the independent demand as well as with the dependent demand. What is independent? Independent demand means the end items are the products which do not depend on any other items. That is independent and then dependent. For example, the number of laptops, that will be independent. For say we say 100 laptops, so that is independent demand, because that is the end item. And now the number of components within each laptop, that depends on the number of laptops. So the number of components, basically, they depend on the number of end items. And similarly, the spares or others for maintenance, example, repairs and other things. So it's the same thing: raw material, work in process, finished goods, number and value. So A class, B class, C class, because we classify the inventory. Inshallah, will go through this ABC classification as well, and then the demand and other things. Now, okay, this is they have simply defined independent demand and dependent. So demand for item is independent of demand for any other items, means the number of the end items are the finished goods. Demand for item is dependent upon the demand for some other item. So that is dependent. Okay. These are costs. So holding cost associated with holding or carrying inventory over time or a period of time. For example, we purchase the requirement of a week, right? We purchase the requirement of a week and say the week starts from Monday. So on Monday, you have all the inventory which is sufficient for 1 week. So you will meet the requirement of Monday on the same day, but for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, if there are 5 working days, you will carry the inventory for the rest of the days. So that is the holding cost or carrying cost. Ordering costs associated with costs of placing order and receiving goods. Right? So when we place an order and when we receive the goods, so the cost incurred on that is the ordering. Setup costs, cost to prepare a machine or process for manufacturing an order. So that is setup costs. The holding costs are carrying costs when we say that, it basically includes these things. Obsolescence. Obsolescence means something which is which you have purchased but you did not use it or it was not required, and with the passage of time it is outdated. So that cost is it happens in the organization that you purchase the raw material, you don't know about the, if you don't have the proper tracking system, it will be there, and after some time that won't be required. Then insurance is included in the holding cost. Extra staffing like people which you have hired. So that is kind of holding cost. Interest, pilferage. Pilferage means like theft. So pilferage are leakages, you can say. If something is stolen and you have produced it in a product in the right quantity or in the right number, but something was missing. So pilferage, damage, again, it comes back to the organization, warehousing costs. So these are basically included while calculating the holding cost. So to calculate this one cost, you have to consider many other factors, and these are the factors. The holding costs, I mean, in percentage, I mean, it's something like this. Remember, these are estimates. These are not exact. These are estimates, but I mean, some good, according to some good judgment. The housing costs, so it's between 3 to 10%, and usually considered as 6%. Material handling cost 3%, but it is 1 to 3.5. Similarly, labor cost 3 to 5%, investment costs 6 to 24%, pilferage, scrape, and obsolescence 3%. The ordering costs include supplies, forms, order processing, clerical support, etc. So when we prepare cost of an order, so we consider these things: the supplies, the forms, order processing, and clerical support. Clerical support means you are basically paying them money, salaries. So these are the costs. Then the computers used in that and other things. Setup costs. Remember, setup cost is associated with the machine. When we produce something, then we consider the setup cost. Otherwise, from the suppliers, ordering cost. So it includes the cleanup costs when you clean the machine, or you clean the tool holder in order to accommodate new tools, then retooling costs, adjustments costs. So these are basically the setup costs. This is the material flow cycle. We already have gone through one such figure, where we considered the example of logs. But here it shows the complete cycle, that there is input, other, I mean, like you can say inspection, then wait time, move time, queue time, setup time, run time. So it's one complete cycle. Run time, this one, is basically job is at machine and being worked on. So actual processing or operation is here, which we know is 5% of the whole cycle. 5% of the whole cycle. Then setup time, this one, job is at the workstation, and the workstation is being set up. Okay. Then queue time, job is where it should be, queue time. It is basically it is waiting in a queue, but is not being processed because other work precedes it. Move time, then wait time, and others just in case the inventory. So I mean, in the log example, it was basically inspection. Okay. This is now types of inventory. This is one of the models. You see, on this axis, on y-axis, we have considered the on-hand inventory, which is units. Q is the quantity which you can say store or which you can purchase. So it has, I mean, there must be some quantity for it. And at time zero, say you have maximum inventory. With the passage of time, because on x-axis we have time, with the passage of time, this inventory depletes or used up, right? And then it drops to zero. And then from here, another cycle starts. We replenish the inventory and it goes to say maximum. So receive order, placed order, and then basically order is placed somewhere here. But before it reaches to zero, or when it reaches to zero, it is assumed that the order has been received and then it goes to maximum and then again depletes and this thing goes on. Okay. Cycle is, our cycle time is when you place an order and when you receive an order. When you place an order and you receive an order, and in between, basically, the inventory is used up or depleted. So that is one cycle. This Q by 2 is basically the average cycle inventory. It is the average cycle inventory. So Q plus 0 divided by 2. So this is in fact Q by 2. So that is average cycle inventory. Okay. So cycle inventory is basically average cycle inventory, and that is equal to Q plus 0 divided by 2, because Q is maximum, 0 is the minimum, divided by 2. Then we have safety stock inventory. So safety stock is usually I mean taken when you feel or when you think there is uncertainty in the cycle time or lead time or in the quantities. So we keep the the safety stock. So, and then we have anticipation inventory. Anticipation inventory means like we keep the inventory in advance, or we produce the things in advance, thinking that there will be a time when it will be used up. And usually seasonality when we forecast based on the seasons, or consider the seasons, then the inventory is produced in anticipation. For example, the cold drinks. Cold drinks are usually, there is a high demand for the cold drinks in summer, but it does not mean that they should produce only in summer, but and in winter they should not produce anything. They produce at the lower level during winter, but the stocks basically they accumulate over the period of time, and when the summer comes, they have huge stocks of inventory or cold drinks, and then they meet the high demand using that the inventory which they have produced in the anticipation. So that is anticipation inventory. Then we have the pipeline inventory. So pipeline inventory is basically the inventory between 2 points. When the inventory flows between the 2 points, we call that pipeline inventory. Could be from the starting to the end of the production line. That is again the inventory, pipeline inventory. And the pipeline inventory is calculated as, this is the DL, which is demand for this inventory, which is equal to, DL is equal to the average demand or demand per day times the lead time. This is average demand and this is lead time. So from there we calculate the pipeline inventory. This is an example about the drill bits. So we know that cycle inventory is Q by 2. Say the maximum inventory which they can keep is 280. So Q, the maximum quantity, that is 280 divided by 2. So the cycle inventory, obviously that will be 140 drills. The pipeline inventory. I think I should have given the example here. But anyway, it can be explained in this way because it's a very simple example, just to show you that how these things are calculated. So cycle inventory Q by 2, so you have Q maximum, say that's 280, and 140 drills is the average inventory. The pipeline inventory DL, so the daily inventory times the lead time. So whatever is the average inventory per unit, average inventory per period. So say it is 70 days per week and the lead time is 3 weeks. So average inventory, say 70 days, drills per week, and the lead time is 3 weeks. So 210 drills. Okay, now ABC classification. Since the organizations, in any organization, you will find hundreds and thousands of different things or inventories. It's quite difficult for the manager to control all the items. So it's better to classify the inventory into classes, and the one which is less in number but higher in the value wise. So why not to control that? And usually the Pareto analysis is, considered for classifying the inventory. So inventory is usually classified into 3 classes: A class, B class, C class. A class inventory is around 20%. I mean, this x-axis shows the percentage. Maximum goes up to 100. This is the percentage of dollar value, means price. So dollar value goes again, it's a percentage, so goes to maximum, which is 100%. So it is 20%, right? The quantity is in percentage, say 20%, but it results in 80% of the dollar volume. 20% of the item results in 80% of the dollar volume. Okay, say this is a graph between the percentage of items and percentage of dollar value. So, or you can straight away, you can place a point. As I said, 20%. So somewhere here and 80%. So you will get a point here. Then the next 30%, the next 30%, after 20%, the next 30%, so it means up to 50. 1, 2, 3. So this is 30%. The next 30% results in 15%. 15% of the dollar value. तो 80% तो पहले ही पहुंच गया था, तो उसके बाद 15% जब आप करेंगे तो कहाँ पहुंचेगा? 95. So 95 and 50. You will get another point here above 50, say here. And the rest is then the C class, which goes up to max. The rest is 50%. Remember, rest is 50%, but in number, but the dollar value is 5%. So 95 से 100 तक बाकी का. So this is A class. 20% of the items result in 80% of the dollar value, and then the next 30%, which in total में 50% आ जाएगा. That is B class, and then the rest is C class.
Sir, can you just explain a little bit further, because I was not able to grasp it fully. So would really appreciate if you could just explain a little further.
Okay. You see, as I said, that the manager within the organization, he basically deals with the hundreds and thousands of different items. किसी भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में जब वो डील करते हैं तो ज़रूर बात है कि वो एक दो तो होते नहीं हैं. अगर कोई प्रोडक्ट्स हैं तो प्रोडक्ट्स के लिए फिर कितनी ही उसके पार्ट्स हैं. Every part is an inventory basically. So he deals with hundreds and thousands of different items. So for him to keep control, to keep tight control on all the parts, that is extremely difficult. So why not to classify that? So when we classify the items, we classify them into 3 classes: A class, B class, and C class. Now, A class, क्योंकि आइटम्स तो सारे उसमें आ जाएंगे, जितने भी उस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन करती है 100% में तो सारे आते हैं फिर. So A class items are usually 20% of the whole in number. उनकी जो percentage है, that is 20%. But that A class, these are expensive items. A class items result in 80% of the dollar value. या उसकी जो भी मतलब आपने जितना इन्वेस्ट किया है उसका 80% जो है वो सिर्फ A class items ऑक्युपाई करते हैं. उसके बाद जो नेक्स्ट 30% है, 20% के बाद जो नेक्स्ट 30% है, मतलब ये 50 पे पॉइंट आ जाएगा. सो वो वाले पार्ट्स जो हैं, जो नेक्स्ट 30% है, दैट इज बी क्लास आइटम. और बी क्लास आइटम्स जो हैं वो दे रिजल्ट इन 15% ऑफ द डॉलर वैल्यू. 15. 80% तो ए क्लास था, नेक्स्ट 15% जो होगा तो 95 पे पहुंच जाएगा आपका. बट एनीवे क्लास बी जो है, दे डॉलर वाइज दे आर 15%, एंड नंबर वाइज जो है या उनका जो परसेंटेज है, दैट इज 30%. ओके. और जो रिमेनिंग है, रिमेनिंग 50% है, रिमेनिंग 50% है, दैट इज सी क्लास. एंड सी क्लास जो है डॉलर वैल्यू जो है वो 5% है, कम कीमत है. आपने देखा होगा कि जो एक्सपेंसिव पार्ट्स होते हैं वो कम होते हैं और कोई भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन ऐसा नहीं करती। अगर वो ऐसा करते हैं तो ज़ाहिर बात है कि वो अफोर्ड ही नहीं कर सकते कि जो ए क्लास आइटम्स हैं उनसे वो स्टोर भर दें। कभी ऐसा नहीं करते, वो बहुत कम नंबर में होंगे क्योंकि वो एक्सपेंसिव आइटम्स होते हैं। लेकिन जो वो सी क्लास आइटम्स हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल नट्स, बोल्ट्स, वॉशर्स एक्सेट्रा, वो तो आप हंड्रेड्स में भी ले इतना, क्योंकि उसमें आपकी इन्वेस्टमेंट इतनी नहीं है, क्योंकि डॉलर वाइज उसकी जो 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 वैल्यू है वो 5% है और जो ए क्लास है वो 80% है। तो इसका मतलब है कि यू नीड टू हैव अ क्लोज कंट्रोल ऑन द ए क्लास आइटम्स, देन बी, एंड देन ऑब्वियसली सी व्हिच हैज, उसमें इतना टाइट कंट्रोल आपको नहीं चाहिए। So it is just shown, I mean, graphically here, that if we have this on the x-axis the percentage of items, and here we have the percentage of dollar value, and you have this graph like this. ये ग्राफ खुद ब खुद मिल जाता है, क्योंकि अगर ग्राफ से पहले आप 20% ये ले लें and 80% उसकी डॉलर वैल्यू, तो you will get a point somewhere here. उसके बाद जो नेक्स्ट 30% है, तो 20% प्लस 30% ये आ जाएगा 50 पे। तो 50 जो है वो 15% पे रिजल्ट करता है। सो 80 से ऑनवर्ड 15%, 95 पे आ जाएगा समवेयर हियर। और उसके बाद फिर सी क्लास, सो दैट इज शोन हियर, ए क्लास, बी क्लास, सी क्लास।
Thank you so much, sir, for the explanation.
ओके, सो दिस इज क्लास ए, देन क्लास बी एंड क्लास सी। ओके, ये तो थी एबीसी क्लासिफिकेशन। How much and when? I mean, these are the two questions usually asked, and to answer such questions, we need to find a solution. How much and when? Okay, for example, if we don't use any model, any scientific knowledge, and use our own judgment, how much and when? Obviously, it is about the inventory, right? कि आपको कितनी चाहिए और कब चाहिए. So, what will happen? Actually, if we use our own good judgment, Reman said, kindly, Nasser to waya ka habiba takiwi waya kab charona. ठीक शो? कावा बल्कि कावा दरोड़ी. No, chini jinaji. Okay, thank you. Okay, how much and when? It means, जिस तरह मैंने आपसे कहा कि if somebody uses his own good judgment, he may go right, but he may go wrong. Say 50 is the optimal quantity, but he has used his own judgment because model कस्ते उसको पता नहीं है, and he ordered 500 instead of 50. रॉ मटेरियल है या कोई भी चीज है, इनफैक्ट इन्वेंट्री है. So, and the requirement was 50. It means he has to carry 450 units of that inventory. And they have to bear the carrying cost for that or the holding cost for that. अब वो कॉस्ट ज्यादा है तो जाहिर बात है इसको तो नहीं करना चाहिए इतना. हाँ, उनका प्रॉब्लम जो है वो छुप जाएगा, बिकॉज टू मच ऑफ इन्वेंट्री बेसिकली हाइड्स द इन्वेंट्री, बट दैट इज नॉट अ गुड थिंग. इफ यू हैव टू मच ऑफ इन्वेंट्री, इट मींस आपने बहुत सारे पैसे उसमें बंद कर दिए अपने. एंड द आइडियल सिचुएशन इज दैट योर मनी शुड बी इन सर्कुलेशन. जो चाहिए आप वो तो आप मतलब उससे इन्वेंट्री ले लें, लेकिन बाकी को सर्कुलेशन में होना चाहिए. सो ये है कि उसकी जजमेंट गलत चली गई. ओके, ऑन द अदर साइड, say 50 is the optimum quantity and they need 50 units. He used his judgment. He thought, okay, 10 will be enough. The person doesn't know about 50 because 50 comes from a model, optimum model, जिसको हम use करते हैं. And he used his judgment, and the judge, according to the judgment, he came up with 10, number 10. Okay, what will happen? There will be starvation. आपके पास बाकी रिसोर्सेज होंगे, आपकी कैपेसिटी तो है, लेकिन आपके पास इन्वेंट्री नहीं है, आपने बहुत कम जो है वो ऑर्डर की, राइट? और जब आप फिर 10 करेंगे, व्हाट विल हैपन? योर ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट विल इंक्रीज बिकॉज यू विल प्लेस अ नंबर ऑफ ऑर्डर्स. सो द ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट इज नाउ इंक्रीजिंग अगेन. आपकी जो कैरिंग कॉस्ट है वो तो कम आपने कर दी, 10 units तो कम है as compared to those 500 which we considered assumed initially. So obviously now he is going to place more orders. So when he places more orders, it means there will be a high order cost. So to answer such things, we need to use certain models. Okay, the first one and the basic inventory model is the economic order quantity model. आप कहीं पे भी जाएं, complicated से complicated inventory model use करें, start हमेशा economic order quantity model से ही ले जाता है. बहुत simple सा model है, but it works, I mean, very well. Even nowadays, after the model तकरीबन century old है, लेकिन अब भी ये काम करता है और ठीक ठाक काम करता है. This is economic order quantity. There are certain assumptions. So, okay, assumptions इसकी क्या थी? Demand rate is constant. Demand rate is constant and known. पहली इसकी assumption ये है. जबकि रियलिटी में क्या होता है आजकल, हम कहते हैं डिमांड रेट इज अनसर्टन और उसका जो रेट है वो भी अनसर्टन है, तो फिर हमें प्रोबेबिलिटी में जाना पड़ता है. बट ऑब्वियसली दिस वाज द स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट फॉर द इन्वेंटरी मॉडल्स, एंड एज आई सेड इट वर्क्स वेरी वेल इवन नाउअडेज. डिमांड रेट इज कांस्टेंट एंड नोन. नो कंस्ट्रेंट्स ऑन लॉट साइज. जो लॉट साइज है उस पर कोई कंस्ट्रेंट नहीं है कि नहीं इतनी क्वांटिटी से आप नहीं जा सकते ज्यादा. ओनली रेलेवेंट कॉस्ट आर होल्डिंग एंड ऑर्डरिंग सेटअप. ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट आर सेटअप कॉस्ट. द टू कॉस्ट व्हिच आर कंसीडर्ड आर सिंपली होल्डिंग एंड ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट. यू सी, ऑर्डरिंग स्लैश सेटअप मतलब ये कि सेम कॉस्ट है, या ये कॉस्ट है ये कॉस्ट, या होल्डिंग या कैरिंग कॉस्ट. इसका स्लैश भी आप डाल सकते हैं, आर कैरिंग कॉस्ट. Okay. And decisions for items are independent from other items. So it is used basically for the independent items. That's the case. Which is decisions for items are independent. No uncertainty in lead time or supply. In other words, you can say lead time is also constant. Lead time जो है ये भी constant है. These are the assumptions. ये assumptions बेटा आप लोग जो हैं इसमें आपकी जो बुक है ये मैं I have prepared these slides from two books. One is from Heiser and the other one is Krojewski. So ये उन दोनों से है, आप जो है उनको देख भी सकते हैं बुक्स को, और उनकी जो वो है मतलब assumptions हैं उनको आप वहां से भी रीड कर सकते हैं या डिटेल्स वगैरह देख सकते हैं. Okay. On x-axis we have time, on y-axis we have on-hand inventory units. Okay. It's the same thing. Q here, 0 here. The inventory depletes. इसको depletion कहते हैं. जब आप use करते हैं तो ज़ाहिर बात है कि orders आ रहे हैं आपके पास, लोग खरीद रहे हैं, तो obviously inventory ने कम हो जाना है. उसके बाद the assumption is that this inventory is replenished instantaneously. Replenishment वो होती है जब आप इसको दोबारा आप रिसीव कर लें, दोबारा आपको ये इन्वेंट्री मिल जाए इंस्टेंटेनियसली. इंस्टेंटेनियसली मतलब ये है कि जिस टाइम पीरियड पे ये इन्वेंट्री खत्म हुई है उसी वक्त आपको ये मिल जाए. दिस इज एन assumption. ये इसकी assumption है इस मॉडल की. ओके. सो when the inventory was depleted and it came down to 0, order is placed and it is assumed that the inventory is received at that time instantaneously. Okay. So again it is replenished, उसी maximum पे पहुंच गई, उसके बाद फिर ये मतलब डिप्लीट होगी और ये सिलसिला चलता रहेगा इस तरह. ओके. ये ओके, दिस इज द एवरेज इन्वेंट्री। आप लोगों को अभी अभी मैंने दिखाया था जस्ट टू एक्सप्लेन द साइकिल इन्वेंट्री, उसको एक्सप्लेन करने के लिए दिस इज द एवरेज साइकिल इन्वेंट्री। अब ये मॉडल है क्या? On this side we have lot size Q, and here we have the annual costs in dollars. You see, when the lot size is 0, lot size जो है Q, lot size है क्या? Lot size basically is the quantity, right? Is the quantity which we basically go for purchasing, we go for producing. अगर produce करना हो या purchase करना हो, कोई quantity है, right? अगर आप का lot size 0 है तो जाहिर बात है कि आपका annual cost भी 0 है, आपके पास कुछ भी नहीं है। But when the lot size increases, quantity increase हो रही है। और अच्छा, एक और one more thing, the annual demand for any product, say that is D, capital D, मैंने एनुअल डिमांड की बात की, एनुअल डिमांड। अगर आप उस एनुअल डिमांड को 12 पर तकसीम कर दें 12 पर, क्योंकि एनुअल डिमांड है तो मतलब ये है कि आपको मंथली जो है, मंथली डिमांड या मंथली आपको क्वांटिटी मिल जाएगी, क्यों मिल जाएगा। अगर मंथली डिमांड 12,000 है और हम उसको लॉट्स में खरीदना चाहें या प्रोड्यूस करना चाहें, 12,000 को हम मंथली मतलब साल में प्रोड्यूस करें तो 12,000 तो साल की तो आपकी रिक्वायरमेंट है। लेकिन अगर हम उसको मंथली प्रोड्यूस करना चाहें तो हम कितना मंथ, हर एक मंथ प्रोड्यूस करेंगे? 1000। ये 1000 आपका क्यू है। डी जो है वो 12,000 है, लेकिन जो आपका लॉट साइज है वो या आप खरीद रहे हैं या आप प्रोड्यूस कर रहे हैं, तो से दैट इज लॉट साइज। ओके, व्हेन वी इंक्रीज द लॉट साइज, द होल्डिंग कॉस्ट जो है वो साथ साथ में इंक्रीज होती जा रही है। जितना आपका लॉट साइज बढ़ेगा उतना ही उसकी जो होल्डिंग कॉस्ट है वो बढ़ेगी, बिकॉज वी कैन सी द कॉस्ट फ्रॉम हियर। जो आप जा रहे हैं ऊपर, आपकी मतलब ये लॉट साइज बढ़ रहा है, आपकी होल्डिंग कॉस्ट बढ़ रही है। सो ये है। दूसरी तरफ जो ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट है, ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट, दिस ब्लू इन कलर, दिस reduces when we increase the lot size. हम जब लॉट साइज को इंक्रीज करते हैं तो ये आपकी जो ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट है ये, या जो यस ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट है ये कम होती जा रही है। कैसे? अगर लॉट साइज आपका जो एनुअल डिमांड था, जो मैंने अभी आपको एग्जांपल दी, से दैट इज 12,000, एनुअल डिमांड इज 12,000 एंड यू आर से परचेजिंग इट। अगर आप परचेज कर रहे हैं तो अगर आप एक ऑर्डर प्लेस करें, एक ऑर्डर, राइट, एक ऑर्डर प्लेस करें, से वन इज हियर, आप एक ऑर्डर प्लेस करें, सो तो क्या होगा? यस, I think I have explained it in this way. Say the 12,000 is here because quantity यहाँ पे increase होगी, and say if we purchase it in one go, that 12,000 जो डिमांड है एनुअल, आप क्यू को डी के बराबर कर दें तो आप एक ही ऑर्डर में सारा साल का मटेरियल जो है वो खरीद लें, तो आपका ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट जो होगा, आपका ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट कम होगा क्योंकि आपने एक ही ऑर्डर में खरीद लिया, एंड वन विल बी हियर। लेकिन अगर आप कहते हैं कि नहीं, मैं इसको 1000 में खरीदना चाहूंगा तो आपके 12 ऑर्डर्स बनेंगे साल के, आपके 12 ऑर्डर्स बनेंगे। तो जो आप अपना लॉट साइज कम करते हैं तो आपका ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट जो है वो बढ़ता है, क्योंकि आप ज्यादा ऑर्डर्स प्लेस करते हैं। पहले केस में क्या था, when you made this queue equal to your annual demand, so you placed just one order, and one order के साथ जो भी cost थी वो associated थी, वो थी। But when you place 12 such orders, your ordering cost will be much higher. So that's why the ordering cost decreases when we increase the lot size, or the other उसको vice versa क्या होगा, the ordering cost increases when we decrease the lot size. Okay, so the point at which the two cost lines, the ordering cost, the ordering cost and the holding cost, they cross each other, that is the optimum lot size. जहां पर ये कट करते हैं एक दूसरे को, आप नीचे आए, so that will give you the optimum lot size, and वही उसकी optimum value होगी, ये वाली। So we basically get another curve which is like this. This is a total cost curve. The total cost curve, the total cost includes holding cost plus the ordering cost. Okay, now let's go through an example. Okay, the example says a museum of natural history opened a gift shop 2 years ago. Managing inventories has become a problem. Low inventory turnover is squeezing profit margins and causing cash flow problems. One of the top selling SKUs का क्या मतलब है? Stock keeping units. Basically inventory है, stock keeping unit अगर ये एक है तो means one item. So one of the top selling SKUs in the container group at the museum's gift shop is a bird feeder. वो टॉप का इनका वो है आइटम है। सेल्स आर 18 यूनिट्स पर वीक। बर्ड फीडर जो है उसकी सेल जो है वो 18 यूनिट्स पर वीक है, एंड द सप्लायर चार्जेस $60 per unit. The cost of placing an order with the supplier is $45. Annual holding cost is 25% of the feeder's value. जो फीडर की वैल्यू है उसका 25% जो है वो एनुअल इनका उसका होल्डिंग कॉस्ट है। And the museum operates 52 weeks per year. Management chose a 390 unit lot size. ये उन्होंने अपने खुद से चूज किया है। Management chose a 390 unit lot size so that new orders could be placed less frequently. What is the annual cycle inventory? Cycle inventory क्या है? Q by 2. What is the annual cycle inventory cost? उसकी cost क्या है? Of the current policy of using a 390 unit lot size. Would a lot size of 468 be better? वो कह रहे हैं कि 390 का जो है उसका मतलब उसकी जो है एनुअल इन्वेंट्री कॉस्ट क्या होगी, और फिर बाद में पूछने कि क्या जो 468 का जो लार्ज साइज है वो इससे बेहतर होगा। So one can calculate it and can say whether it's feasible or not, or it's good or not. Okay. Same example. The holding cost line, the ordering cost line, total cost line. Now the holding cost. The holding cost, this is पिछले इसमें क्या था, यहाँ पे सिर्फ हम लिखा था HC just to show holding cost, but a holding cost in fact is average inventory times the holding cost per annum per unit per year. ये है holding cost. Average inventory times carrying cost or a holding cost per unit per year. Holding cost per year होती है. Okay. Then the ordering cost. So ordering cost क्या होती है? Your annual demand divided by the lot size Q. Annual demand divided by lot size. So this will give you the number of orders. जिससे मैंने कहा था कि अगर annual demand आपकी 12,000 है और आपका lot size जो है वो 1,000 है तो आपको 12 हर महीने 12 आपको orders place करने पड़ेंगे. So it means D by Q is basically number of orders और हर एक order के साथ एक cost है. हर एक order के साथ एक cost है which is the ordering cost. So that will give you the ordering cost. Okay, now D is from the data. वहाँ पे ये given है वो है 18 उसके units हैं per week उनके sell हो रहे हैं और साल में 12 उन्होंने mention की होती है there are 52 weeks. So obviously the total demand is 936 units per year. Holding cost was 25% of the unit cost. So 25% of the unit cost, it comes out as $15. Setup cost is mentioned $45. ये mention थी और ये था उनका कि अगर उसकी मैनेजमेंट कहे कि अगर हम 390 यूनिट्स का ऑर्डर प्लेस करें तो उसकी कॉस्ट क्या आएगी, उसकी एवरेज साइकिल कॉस्ट क्या आएगी. सो एवरेज साइकिल कॉस्ट विल बी योर ऑर्डर योर होल्डिंग कॉस्ट प्लस ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट. यहां से हमारे पास कॉस्ट आ जाएगी Q is 390 डिवाइड बाय 2, H जो है दैट इज 15 प्लस D जो है वो एनुअल हमने कैलकुलेट कर लिया दैट 936 divided by 390 times S. S is 45. So this will give you a cost. And that cost is 3,033. Now 3,033 is basically the cost is here. This is 3,000 line. ये 3,000 है. So 3,033 according to scale will lie somewhere here. यहाँ पे point होगा. और quantity जो है 390 that is 350, 400 that will be somewhere here. Yeah. Okay. 390 here and 3,033 ये यहाँ पे होगी इस लाइन से ऊपर. If this is here, it means somewhere here. बल्कि ये dash line है, dashed line. Okay. Okay. उन्होंने कहा फिर second part of the question was, what if the quantity increases to 468? तो अगर Q की जगह 468 हो तो simply replace 390 with 468 and calculate the cost. Obviously, that is going to be, I think, higher. For 468 units, this is $3,600. $3,600, which is somewhere here. Okay. But if we calculate the economic order quantity, ये तो हमने quantity calculate नहीं की. These were the quantities by the organization of the museum. उन्होंने कहा कि 390 units ये करो या 468. What if we calculate the optimum quantity using the economic order quantity model? Okay. You see, let me slightly go back. This blue in color, this one, this is the ordering cost. This one is the holding cost. And as I mentioned earlier on, that at the crossing point, this is the like yes, at the crossing point you have if you come down you will get the optimum quantity Q, because यहाँ पर हमारे पास तो lot sizes हैं, and on this side you have the cost. At this point the holding cost is equal to the ordering cost, so we can write it in this way. This is the ordering cost, D by Q times S equal Q by 2 times H. Ordering cost is equal to holding cost. उस पॉइंट पे दोनों इक्वल हैं, इसको आप क्रॉस मल्टीप्लाई कर लें, देन फाइंड Q, ठीक है, क्रॉस मल्टीप्लाई Q स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू 2ds by h and Q star is equal to square root of 2ds divided by h. This is our economic order quantity model. Now if we apply the same model and accordingly calculate, तो फिर क्या होगा? For the bird feeders, उसी एग्जांपल पे calculate the EOQ or the economic order quantity and its total annual cycle inventory, और उसकी total cycle inventory calculate करें. How frequently will orders be placed if the EOQ is used? तो अगर हम EOQ कैलकुलेट करें और फिर ऑर्डर्स कैलकुलेट करें तो कहते हैं कि आपको कितना फ्रीक्वेंटली ऑर्डर्स को प्लेस करना होगा. Same example, this is the annual demand because they are selling 18 units per week and there are 52 weeks, so 936 is the annual demand. Holding cost was $15. The ordering cost or the setup cost was $45. And if we calculate Q, previously it was simply given, their estimates were given, but if we calculate Q based on EOQ, then based on EOQ, this comes out as 2ds divided by h. आपके पास ये सारी values मौजूद हैं. So we can calculate this Q is equal to 75. पहले क्या था 390 और फिर 468. So 75 units are is the optimum quantity. Similarly, cost इसको आप calculate कर सकते हैं यहाँ से. Cost will be $1,124. तो आप यहाँ पे मार्क कर सकते हैं कि भाई यहाँ पे कौन सी, यहाँ पे जो क्वांटिटी आ रही है वो 75 यूनिट्स की आ रही है और जो कॉस्ट आ रही है आपके पास यहाँ पर वो 1100 पता नहीं $24 की. Because they have considered this graph, क्योंकि ये ग्राफ आ गया आपके पास बेसिकली इन दोनों को मिलाने से ये ग्राफ बनता है आपको ये वाला. So that cost is here. अब जरा देख लें कि उनके जो पैरामीटर्स थे, their current lot size Q वो कितना था 390 units, demand was 936, ordering cost was 45, उनका जो unit holding cost था that was $15. Annual cost उनके orders per year कितने थे, क्योंकि this was their lot size and this was the annual demand, so simply divide 936 with 390, you will get the orders per year. उनके साल में 2.4 orders place होने थे इस पॉलिसी के मुताबिक. उनकी annual ordering cost जो आनी थी वो $108 थी. Annual holding cost उनकी $2,925 थी. उनकी जो annual inventory cost थी that was $3,033. Based on EOQ जो आपने कैलकुलेट किया, EOQ पे इनकी ऑर्डर जो इकोनॉमिक ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी है वो है 75 इंस्टेड ऑफ 390. 75 ऑर्डर्स पर ईयर बनते हैं इसके 12.48 क्योंकि एनुअल डिमांड जो है वो ये है. सो 936 डिवाइड बाय 75 12.48. इसी उसके साथ एसोसिएटेड फिर एनुअल ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट जो है वो ये बनती है, होल्डिंग कॉस्ट ये बनती है और एनुअल इन्वेंट्री कॉस्ट ये बनती है. So the difference between these two is basically placing orders. You are going to place 12.48 orders instead of 2.4 orders. लेकिन आपकी जो एनुअल इन्वेंट्री कॉस्ट होगी, आपकी एनुअल इन्वेंट्री कॉस्ट वो कम है इससे, ये ज्यादा थी, ये कम होगी if you go by this policy or go by 75. Now time between orders कितना होगा उनका, अभी हमने कैलकुलेट की है उसकी जो उनकी जो क्वांटिटी है इकोनॉमिक ऑर्डर वो 75 है. सो टाइम बिटवीन ऑर्डर्स TBO, टाइम बिटवीन ऑर्डर्स according to EOQ, that is equal to आपकी जो ई ओ क्यू आपने क्वांटिटी में कैलकुलेट की है, या सिंपली क्यू स्टार डिवाइड बाय डी। तो क्यू स्टार हमारा था 75, डी हमारे 936 है। ये बनता है इससे टाइम जो निकलता है, टाइम बिटवीन ऑर्डर्स का मतलब ये है कि जब आप एक ऑर्डर प्लेस करते हैं तो दूसरा ऑर्डर आप कितने टाइम बाद प्लेस करेंगे, कितने वक्त बाद आप प्लेस करेंगे। तो अगर आप यहाँ पे देख लें, हमारे ऑर्डर्स जो निकले यहाँ पर, ऑर्डर्स पर ईयर, वो कितने 12.48, मतलब साल में आपको 12.48 या 12.5 ऑर्डर्स आपको प्लेस करने हैं। इसका मतलब ये है कि आपका ऑर्डर जो है वो स्लाइटली लेस देन 30 है, स्लाइटली लेस देन 30। अगर ये 12 होता तो मतलब आप हर एक महीने बाद आप उसको प्लेस करते, महीने में एज्यूम 30 डेज, राइट, तो वो आपको 30 दिन बाद करने पड़ते। ओके, ये इतने सालों में ये बनता है। महीनों में सेम चीज, महीनों में ये बनते 0.96 मंथ्स, वीक्स में ये बनता है, और दिनों में 29.25 डेज। मतलब ये है कि आपको तकरीबन, क्योंकि 12.5 है या 12.5 है, तो मतलब ये है कि आपको ऑलमोस्ट महीने के आखिर में ऑर्डर एक प्लेस करना है ताकि आपके ऑर्डर्स पूरे हो जाए। लेकिन आपकी कॉस्ट कम रहेगी, वो बता दिया उन्होंने पहले ही कि आपकी टोटल एवरेज इन्वेंट्री कॉस्ट है दैट विल बी $11,024, एंड इट इज मच मोर इकोनॉमिकल देन व्हाट दे वर एक्चुअली डूइंग। जो म्यूजियम वाले थे जो कर रहे थे वो एक्सपेंसिव था। These are the equations. I can see only 20 participants are there in this lecture. I'm sorry to say they are missing something important, and I don't know why these students are not present in this lecture. I don't know how will they cover up later on. Okay, these are model equations. Optimal order quantity के लिए Q star वही है 2ds divided by H. Expected number of orders के लिए D by Q. Expected time between orders अभी हमने calculate किया Q by D. Average inventory या जो है ये demand per day, that is your annual demand divided by number of days per year कितने हैं वो है, and then your जो है रीऑर्डर पीरियड जो आपका है, रीऑर्डर पीरियड मतलब कि आपको कब फिर दोबारा ऑर्डर प्लेस करना है, सो दैट इज इनटू इक्वल टू डी इनटू एन। These are some equations simply summarized here. Okay, then we have another kind of model which is known as production order quantity model. Production order quantity model. Production order quantity model is particularly applicable to the production environment, manufacturing environment. Again, it answers the same thing: how much to order and when to order. And it allows partial receipt of material. It uses some of the other assumptions of the EOQ model, जो उसकी assumptions है वो ये भी करता है. It is suited for production environment, और obviously यहाँ पे material produce होता है वगैरह या products produce होते हैं, and it provides production lot size. इसकी जो 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 होल्डिंग कॉस्ट है वो लोअर है एज कंपेयर टू द इकोनॉमिक ऑर्डर क्वांटिटी मॉडल. Someone is I don't know. Okay, you see, sorry, here this green in color, this was the economic order quantity model, green wala, and then we calculated the average inventory. Okay, the optimal quantity is basically the quantity which we calculate Q star. You can also go up to go for the maximum inventory which you can keep. That will be slightly higher. This जो dash line आपको नजर आ रही है ये वाली, this is basically the actual situation, because one of the assumptions in the EOQ model was that the inventory is replenished instantaneously. But due to variability in production, we don't receive it instantaneously, but over a period of time. And then it goes to maximum because we produce the things, and with the passage of time, क्योंकि यहाँ पे तो time बढ़ रहा है, with the passage of time, we go to maximum and then we utilize the quantity which we have produced. So again, then depletion comes to minimum, then goes to maximum after production and then used up. We set a point ROP, which is in fact equal to small d, which is the demand per day, or yes, demand per day into lead time. We calculate the reorder period, and once this quantity reaches to that particular point, we place the order. We place the order, and by the time this remaining inventory is used up, we receive the replenishment. We receive the inventory and the inventory is then replenished. आपको मिल जाती है. तो एक रीऑर्डर पॉइंट हम कैलकुलेट करते हैं. जब उस पॉइंट पे आप ऑर्डर प्लेस कर दें तो जरा बात है कि ऑर्डर तो जाएगा, शिपमेंट तैयार होकर आपके पास पहुंचेगा ऑर्डर, लेकिन उस दौरान उसके बाद भी तो मतलब टाइम तो जब गुजरेगा तो कुछ चीजें तो यूज होंगी. वी कॉल दैट लीड टाइम, ये वाला. तो जब आपने ऑर्डर प्लेस किया और आपको ऑर्डर रिसीव हुआ, सो दैट इज लीड टाइम. और उसके बाद चूंकि ये assumption है कि ये इंस्टेंटेनियसली प्रोड्यूस होगी तो EOQ में तो हम स्ट्रेट अपवर्ड चले जाते हैं, लेकिन जो प्रोडक्शन मॉडल है उसमें हम ऐसा थोड़ा सा, चूंकि प्रोड्यूस कर रहे हैं और प्रोडक्शन आपके पास एकदम टाइम जीरो पे सारा कुछ नहीं मिल जाता, इट टेक्स टाइम टू प्रोड्यूस, सो इट रीचेस टू मैक्सिमम आफ्टर सम टाइम. ये वाला ओके. क्यों है ऐसा? Why it is so? It is so because of variability. Variability कहाँ से आती है? यहाँ से. Employees, machines and suppliers produce units that do not conform to standards, are late, or are not the proper quantity. तो टाइम तो लगेगा. कुछ तो क्वालिटी इंस्पेक्शन शायद क्वालिफाई ना कर सकें, या मटेरियल भी लेट हो, उसकी वजह से भी लेट हो सकते हैं. इनएक्यूरेट इंजीनियरिंग ड्राइंग्स भी हो सकती हैं. प्रोडक्शन पर्सनल ट्राई टू प्रोड्यूस बिफोर ड्राइंग्स. अपनी ड्राइंग्स मिली नहीं होती, या वो कहते हैं कि ठीक है ये ड्राइंग आएगी लेकिन पहले से ही बना लेते हैं. सो दे प्रोड्यूस, ज्यादा बन जाती है, कम बन जाती है, सो वेरिएबिलिटी आ जाती है. कस्टमर डिमांड्स आर अननोन, so that's the reasons for variability in production, and that's why I mean it takes time to reach to the maximum. Here is the POQ, or production order quantity model. The previous one was EOQ. Now this is POQ model. Here आप इसको यहाँ से भी स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं, लेकिन उसके बाद फिर ये वाला पॉइंट जो है ये ऐसे जाएगा. Starting from here, supply begins. Supply कहाँ से आएगी? आप प्रोड्यूस करेंगे basically. So it reaches to maximum and it takes time, this much time. Okay. So that's the inventory level, and after that then the depletion. Depletion क्या है? Basically it's a demand portion of cycle with no supply. और ये क्या है? Production portion of cycle जो कि आप प्रोड्यूस कर रहे हैं. Now we have a few equations over here in order to find the optimal lot size. जो Q star है उसको कैलकुलेट करने के लिए. Okay जी, the inventory holding cost. sorry, annual inventory holding cost. Annual inventory holding cost. This is basically अभी हमने चेक किया था एन एवरेज इन्वेंट्री जो है दैट इज Q by 2 times H ये है so average inventory level times holding cost per unit per year अब एवरेज इन्वेंट्री लेवल क्या है बेसिकली दैट इज Q by 2 मैक्सिमम इन्वेंट्री डिवाइड बाय 2 तो ये वही चीज है इक्वेशन लेकिन सिर्फ लिखा हुआ है नाउ मैक्सिमम इन्वेंट्री लेवल इज इक्वल टू जो मैक्सिमम इन्वेंट्री लेवल है वो क्या है total production during the production run total production during the production run that is P into T production जो उसका time period है ये right total produced PT minus DT जो कि consume हुआ total used during the production run total used during the production run so that is Q is equal to total produced which is PT and thus अच्छा यहाँ से इन्होंने टी भी कैलकुलेट कर दिया टी इज इक्वल टू क्यू बाई पी जो आप कैलकुलेट कर सकते हैं टाइम से क्यू इज इक्वल टू पी टी क्यू क्यू सो टी इज इक्वल टू क्यू बाई पी ओके मैक्सिमम इन्वेंट्री लेवल इज इक्वल टू आप इन इक्वेशंस को रीअरेंज करें यू विल गेट क्यू इनटू 1 माइनस डी और पी आप कर लें बाद में उसको खुद ही एनुअल इन्वेंट्री होल्डिंग कॉस्ट are simply holding cost is maximum inventory level divided by 2 which is q by 2 और times 1 minus d और p times h क्योंकि q by 2 times h है लेकिन इसके साथ में ये भी है q into 1 minus d by p ये वाली सेटअप कॉस्ट जो आपका है वो है d by q times s होल्डिंग कॉस्ट जो है वो हाफ और 0.5 h q into 1 minus d by p और इसी तरह जो वो इक्वेशन है जहां पर आपका 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 ऑर्डरिंग कॉस्ट और होल्डिंग कॉस्ट जो है एवरेज होल्डिंग कॉस्ट वो बराबर है वो जिस पॉइंट पे दोनों कॉस्ट जो है क्रॉस करती हैं सो दैट इन दिस केस इज डी और क्यू टाइम्स एस इक्वल्स हाफ ऑफ एच क्यू इंटू 1 माइनस डी और पी सो इसको रीअरेंज आप करें इस इक्वेशन को यू विल फाइनली गेट क्यू स्टार पी मींस ऑप्टिमल क्वांटिटी फॉर द प्रोडक्शन मॉडल are to be produced that is equal to square root of 2 ds divided by h into 1 minus d over p उस पे क्या था कि ये portion नहीं था that was simply square root of 2 ds divided by h while in this case 2 ds divided by h into 1 minus d over p okay now these are the equations same thing उसी तरह की equations हैं जो कि summarize की गई थी यहाँ पर भी उनको summarize किया गया है okay इसकी I have taken these slides from these two books, Operations Management by Heiser and Operations Management by Krojewski, Ritzman and Malhotra. You can, ये वाली बुक तो हमारे पास लाइब्रेरी में भी है, सॉफ्ट फॉर्म में भी मौजूद है. I believe a copy of this book will be available in the library. If not, you can find the soft copy of this book on the net. वो नेट पे अवेलेबल है आप उसको डाउनलोड कर लें तो some of the material is covered from this book एक और भी मैंने इसमें assignment है I have prepared rather I have taken some questions from the book of Heiser. I think there are 6 questions that is your assignment number 1 and you have 1 week time Sorry, the line was dropped again. If you have any question, please. Are you there?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
sir.
बोले बोले ना
Yes, sir.
कोई क्वेश्चन आपका हो आपके जहन में?
सर ये स्लाइड अगर आप अपलोड कर दे पिछले लेक्चर की भी इसके भी।
सॉरी, मेरे इश्तियाक को कहा था मैं आपको दे दूंगा, शायद मैं उसको स्लाइड्स नहीं दे सका। मैं उनको दे दूंगा आज दोनों लेक्चर्स की, तो इंशाल्लाह वो अपलोड कर देंगे। बट इफ यू हैव एनी क्वेश्चन अबाउट टुडेज लेक्चर।
ओके सर, थैंक यू।
ओके, थैंक यू वेरी मच। और असाइनमेंट की मैं बात कर रहा था, तो असाइनमेंट जो है वो इंशाल्लाह जो नेक्स्ट लेक्चर होगा उससे पहले आपको सबमिट करनी होगी। तो लाल सैद जो है वो मेरे साथ लैब इंजीनियर है, वो असिस्ट भी करता है मुझे। तो आप ये उसको ईमेल कर दें, आपकी जो भी मतलब असाइनमेंट्स वगैरह या वो हैं, या अपलोड कर दें आप उसमें, वहाँ से वो उसको एक्सेस कर लेगा। तो वो उसकी जो आज ही मैं अपलोड कर लेता हूँ असाइनमेंट को भी। तो देयर आर 6 क्वेश्चंस, और आप लोगों को ये दोनों मॉडल जो हमने, बल्कि 3 चीज़ें जो हमने आज यूज़ की हैं, एबीसी क्लासिफिकेशन पे 2 क्वेश्चन है, इसी तरह ईओक्यू पे 2 क्वेश्चन है, और साथ में जो प्रोडक्शन और क्वांटिटी मॉडल है उस पे 2 क्वेश्चन है। सो देयर आर 6 क्वेश्चंस, यू कैन सॉल्व देम आई थिंक within 2-3 hours time, and you can then upload them. So inshallah, see you next week. Allah Hafiz.
Agora vai ser classe jogando o que estava aqui.
ये सर ने असाइनमेंट बताई है कि नहीं बताई है?
अवेश क्लास हो गई कि नहीं, अभी है?
क्लास तो हो गई है लेकिन सर कहीं चले गए हैं, पता नहीं।
चलो सही है।